installments, like back episodes of some mundane soap opera, but I still couldn't walk. The nurses said the settlement would put me back on my feet. Mark Daubeny would visit and brief me about our progress towards settlement while I sat in plaster, waiting for my bones to set. After he'd left, I'd sit and think of sets, 6 games in tennis, or however many matching cups and plates, the scenery in theatres, patterns. I'd think of remote settlements in ancient times, village outposts, crouching beneath hostile skies. I'd think of people, dancers maybe, or soldiers, crouching, set, waiting for some event to start. Later, much later, the settlement came through. I'd been out of hospital for 4 months, out of physiotherapy for 1. I was living on my own on the edge of Brixton, in a 1-bedroom flat. I wasn't working. The company I'd been with up until the accident, a market research outfit, had said they'd give me paid sick leave until May. It was April. I didn't feel like going back to work. I didn't feel like doing anything. I wasn't doing anything. I passed my days in the most routine of activities, getting up and washing, walking to the shops and back again, reading the papers, sitting in my flat. Sometimes I watched TV, but not much. Even that seemed too proactive. Occasionally I'd take the tube up to Angel, to Mark Daubeny's office. Mostly I just sat in my flat, doing nothing. I was 30 years old. On the day the settlement came through, I did have something to do. I had to go and meet a friend at Heathrow Airport. An old friend. She was flying in from Africa. I was just about to leave my flat when the phone rang. It was Daubeny's secretary. I picked the phone up and her voice said, "Langer and Daubeny, Mark Daubeny's office. Putting you through." "Sorry," I said. "Putting you through," she said again. I remember feeling dizzy. Things I don't understand make me feel dizzy. I've learned to do things slowly since the accident, understanding every move, each part of what I'm doing. I didn't choose to do things like this. It's the only way I can do them. If I don't understand words, I have one of my staff look them up. That day, back in April, when Daubeny's secretary phoned, I didn't have staff, and anyway, they wouldn't have helped in that instance. I didn't know who the you was she was putting through, Daubeny or me. A trivial distinction, you might say, but the uncertainty still made me dizzy. I placed my hand against my living room wall. Daubeny's voice came on the line after a few seconds. "Hello?" it said. "Hello?" I said back. "It's come through," said Daubeny. "Yes, it's me," I answered. "That was just your secretary putting us through. Now it's me." "Listen," said Daubeny. His voice was excited. He hadn't taken in what I'd just said. "Listen, they've capitulated." "Who?" I asked. "Who? Them, the other side. They've caved in." "Oh," I said. I stood there with my hand against the wall. The wall was yellow, I remember. "They've approached us," Daubeny continued, "with a deal whose terms are very strong each way." "What are the terms?" I asked. "For your part," he told me, "you can't discuss the accident in any public arena or in any recordable format. To all intents and purposes, you must forget it ever happened." "I've already forgotten," I said. "I never had any memory of it in the first place." This was true, as I mentioned earlier. The last clear memory I have is of being buffeted by wind 20 or so minutes before I was hit. "They don't care about that," Daubeny said. "That's not what they mean. What they mean is that you must accept that, in law, it ceases to be actionable." I thought about that for a while, until I understood it. Then I asked him, "How much are they paying me?" "8.5 million, Daubeny said. "Pounds?" I asked. "Pounds," Daubeny repeated. £8.5 million. It took another second or so for me to take in just how much money that was. When I had, I took my hands off the wall and turned suddenly around towards the window. The movement was so forceful that it pulled the phone wire with it, yanked it right out of the wall. The whole connection came out, the wire, the flat-headed bit that you plug in, and the casing of the hole that plugs in.